Okie dokie. Let's go. So this video is about true attraction, and you find the true attraction with your Mars and your Venus sign. And we're going to start with Mars and Aries, and I'm going to go through how, if somebody, an individual, has Mars and Aries with Venus in Aries, with Taurus in Aries. Again. True attraction with your Mars and your Venus sign. And I'm going to start with Mars and Aries. And a person has Mars and Aries and Venus in Aries. So this person has the same sign. Yeah? The same. Mars and Aries, Venus in Aries. And what is this Mars and Aries and Venus in Aries person attracted to? Now, with the Mars in Aries, obviously it's going to be the physical. They like strong physical people, or people who have muscular bodies or very fit and strong bodies. This is what Mars in Aries prefers, because they are actually strong too. And with that combined with their Venus in Aries combination, they like people who are actually active. You know, people who are go-getters, people who go out there, and people that are impulsive and do things on a whim and a prayer. You know, people who just are moving all the time. They don't like people who are slow, don't like people who don't do anything. They like the movement. They like active people. So these Venus and Mars Aries combined, they need active people. And that's why they require the people to have strong bodies, you see, because they are also very active themselves. They are hyperactive, in fact, at times they can be. So this is what they're attracted to, and and the physical features are kind of always going to be about strength and muscle and power and how strong you are. Also, people who they're also attracted to people who can be quite dominant or outgoing, you know. So it's not only the physical aspect with Mars and Venus in Aries, it's also, you know, mentally they like people who are outgoing, people who get things done. When the person has Mars in Aries and Venus in Taurus, this is again a little bit similar to what they're attracted to, you know, the physicality, but because it's a Venus in Taurus, beauty must be involved. They must, the person must have beautiful features, because Venus in Taurus needs that to be in a relationship, because Venus always indicates what type of relationship you want. Mars always indicates what type of you know, person you're attracted to, and they have to have the beauty. So the beauty must be required, because Taurus is about beauty and obviously about stability too. But because they have Mars in Aries, they kind of contradict a little bit, because they like the stability in people, but they also like the risk-taking element in people. So it's a bit of both here. So, you know, sometimes with this Venus in Taurus and Mars in Aries, they can sometimes be undecided in what type of person they like, or undecided in what type of, yeah, physicality they prefer in a person. But I assure you that the beauty must be there, and then the physical body, the body must be also there for the attraction. So it's really they can be quite selective in what type of, you know, partner they truly go for in terms of long-term relationship. Then you have Mars in Aries and Venus in Gemini combinations. Now, obviously, this person with the Mars in Aries, Venus, Gemini has to be, communication has to be involved. Number one, obviously, the physicality of the person must be there, like with the Mars in Aries, but they must be able to communicate. They must also, like Venus in Gemini, um, they with Mars in Aries, Venus in Gemini combination, this would probably be like the type of body that they would have to be toned. You know, you know, it has to be a toned, slim, and toned. Like with the Mars in Aries, Venus in Gemini, that's what they like. They don't mind the muscles, but it has to be. There has to be. They don't want it Venus, Gemini, Mars, and Aries don't want people with big muscles. Like if it was a woman, for example, or a man wouldn't want a woman who is like voluptuous, for example. So this is how they, this is what they prefer. They prefer toned, but what must be there is the communication levels. So obviously they're attracted to the physicality, but the communication must be there, has to be there. Venus in Cancer and Mars in Aries. Now this type, if it was a man, for example, wouldn't mind the voluptuous type of features in a woman, but they must have some strength behind those features. They must show some sort of strength or power in their features. And also Venus in Cancer men or women would want this person to have some sort of emotional understanding, because it's Venus in Cancer. They want their partner to have a level of emotional intelligence, for them to truly get with them. So it can, obviously, this is just a preference. I'm not saying that people don't get with other people who don't have these things, but this is just what these Mars and Venus combinations prefer. And Venus in Cancer, Mars and Aries prefers the voluptuous, and men don't mind, wouldn't be completely against, someone who is maybe not in complete shape. They still want someone to be strong with that Mars and Aries, but Venus in Cancer wouldn't want someone in, just like aesthetically, immaculate shape. They don't mind a bit of, maybe you want to call it a dad bod. I don't know what people call these things these days, but ultimately they wouldn't mind. It's not a high level preference, but what must be there is the emotional intelligence. It has to be there, and the caring and protection. Men or women, they want to get with someone who has that level of care and protection and understanding for them. Mars in Aries and Venus in Leo. Now, again, this does indicate beauty and high levels of beauty. With Venus in Leo, Mars in Aries, they do want someone who is very attractive to be with. That's just their preference. That's just how they like things to be. But also, kind of larger than life characters. Remember, this is double fire. So, active and people who are, fun. This what they need: fun. They need excitement. They need passion. They need the stuff in their relationship, and they have a lot of energy. So you must be able to keep up with them as well, because they're most likely going to be either very fit or very boisterous and bubbly and enthusiastic. So yeah, this is what they require. Venus in Virgo, Mars in Aries. Now this is probably the least in terms of looks and stuff, Venus in Virgo with Mars in Aries. Even though Mars in Aries, like I said, with Mars in Aries, it has to be a strong, physical, muscular, shaped type of person that they find attractive, but also, they could be most of these things. But also with the Venus in Virgo, they need that character. The character must be involved. Venus in Virgo, they do obviously like well-presented people, well-presented, they won't accept you if, and they don't want to be with you if you don't present yourself in a nice, clean looking manner. You're messy or a bit like untidy, whatever, that may affect how they look at you. They want you to be pristine and you don't have to be the best looking, but immaculate is what they're going for, more so than the actual looks of how you look. So this is important with the Mars in Aries. I think obviously they would prefer that immaculate look with a muscular physique or a very healthy physique, but immaculate must be there. And the character must be also there too. The character, and it's all about character for Venus and Virgo. So I think Venus and Virgo does, and Mars and Aries combination, I think the character trumps it all, to be honest with you. It definitely does. Mars in Aries, Venus in Libra. Now, Venus in Libra, Mars in Aries, obviously they are opposite signs. So this person that has this combination with the opposite signs would prefer, like they like both they like, they kind of like multiple things about people, but because Venus and Libra are highly, highly, relationship orientated, and Mars and Aries are, you know, kind of individual at times, can be quite, about what they're doing and things like that. So, there is a contrast in their character, but so there's also a contrast in what they desire. They desire, Venus and Libra, tight bonds and tight relationships and connections, and Mars and Aries does want that too, but they want also that independence, and and Mars and Aries are attracted to people who are independent and can handle themselves and deal with their own things and stuff like that. So, that is on the mental aspect, of the attraction for them. It can be a bit of a contradiction what they like. They may just want both, which is, it's hard to balance out, but obviously people can do that. But on a physical aspect, it's really the beauty. But, Libra, I have to understand Libra is about, the hips and, the midsection in terms of like the buttocks or the derriere, whatever you want to call it. So they do like that about, the people that they're attracted to. And obviously Mars in Aries is all about muscles. So, that part of the body is something that they're highly attracted to. Definitely 100%. And then you have Venus in Scorpio, Mars in Aries. This individual is going to want you to have beauty, in terms of your facial beauty, like face and eyes, particularly the eyes. The eyes is what this Venus in Scorpio desires, and Mars in Aries, obviously, it's the body. So it's the eyes and the body that really captivate this type of individual. But this individual with Venus in Scorpio, Mars in Aries also has an intensity about them, and they're highly intense, and they need you to be able to handle that level of intensity. They really do generally need you to handle that. They're highly, driven self. They have a high drive, and you must be able to keep up. This is something that must be understood. But yeah, they just matching their desires is kind of a task in itself. Venus in Scorpio, Mars and Aries want you to be able to handle that, because they will have desires that will be displayed constantly. And this is not just intimate desires. This is also, desires to spend time with you, desires to go places with you, desires to do this with you and do that with you. You have to be able to have that type of level of energy to keep up with the Venus in Scorpio. And that's what they really want. They really want someone who is able to stay with them and, maintain their desires, so to speak. Venus in Sagittarius, Mars in Aries. This person who likes, someone who is actually fun and funny and exciting. They don't want boredom. They can get bored quite easily. Venus, Sag, Mars and Aries. This combination probably gets bored the most. You cannot be boring. Obviously, again with Mars and Aries, it's obviously the physical body, but with Venus and Sagittarius, it's also like it can include height. If it was a woman would prefer a taller man. A man would prefer a woman who is maybe Sagittarius rules the thighs, so the thighs are important if it's a man, and the hips and stuff. So this is what they find attractive. But they have to be entertaining. They have to be funny. The partner that Venus is in Sagittarius, Mars and Aries has to be with someone who is entertaining and going out there, who's not just staying inside, who's not just an incel type of person. They have to be very, very outside and willing to go here, there, and everywhere, because that's what they're on. And they can be quite impulsive and risk taking and quite do things on a whim and a prayer. And if you can't handle that type of energy from a Venus, Sagittarius, and Aries, you're not going to be able to deal with them. You're not going to be able to keep up with them, to be honest with you. So yeah. And with the Venus in Capricorn, Mars in Aries, Venus in Capricorn, they tend to like, it's the facial structure, it's how your face is defined and everything like that. Also, with that combined with the Mars and Aries, it has to be there. It has to be the physical element, like physically attracted to how your body's put together and stuff. So, this is important, but the facial structure and, because they're very serious about relationships and stuff, but they're also quite fun. So, what they want really from you is to be able to spend time with you, but doing exciting things. So, they like, they're just very serious, they want to settle down. Like if they find you to be that right person for them, they're going to want to settle down very quickly. They want to spend a lot of time with you, and maybe not a lot of time with you, but the quality time. And the quality time has to be doing different types of things, like going different types of places. They're not going to be wanting to spend a lot of time doing the inside, being at home. This is not a Venus in Capricorn, Mars in Aries. It's not an individual who wants to be at home with their partner. They want to be out. And I think with Venus in Capricorn, you must have, and Mars in Aries, you must have you got to have money to spend, really. Honestly, you got to be going out. It's really that simple. And I'm not saying, that's just spending money on someone else. It's just one of you two has to have money. Because, the Venus in Capricorn, Mars in Aries is not going to really be excited unless they're doing different things in life. But the facial structure of Venus in Capricorn is so important. Cheekbones, just jawline, and just the facial structure has to be like very like defined. They like defined faces. And yeah, Venus in Aquarius, Mars in Aries. Yeah, so Venus in Aquarius, Mars in Aries. I guess this is someone who likes someone who's very different. Like Venus in Aquarius maybe likes tattoos and stuff like that, different things on their face, scars and stuff. With the muscles and stuff. Say it was a girl with Venus in Aquarius, Mars in Aries. They would like someone who's muscly with scars on their face and tattoos, and someone who just like looks like that. If you know what I'm trying to say, that's the type of person they would like. But the uniqueness is the key, really, for the Venus in Aquarius. They must have a unique feature or unique style or unique way of dealing with them. They can't just be like everyone else. And with that combined with Mars and Aries, they have to have a lot of energy, so their partner must be unique, with energy, with a lot of passion and a lot of impulsive nature, just not like, basically, you can say like Sagittarius, Venus, Sagittarius, Mars and Aries needs to be out. Venus in Aquarius, Mars and Aries needs to be, the person needs not to be boring. They're being bored, having a boring character, like just having a same type of character, is going to like just put them off very, very quickly. Like your character has to be excitable. Venus in Pisces, Mars in Aries. Interesting combination. Now this is obviously someone who likes the, it's not, Venus in Pisces isn't like obsessed with looks, and Mars and Aries combined, they're not obsessed with the looks. It's not an obsession. It's more about how you are romantically with them. Now obviously they have a preference. Everybody has them, and their preference, like I said, we know what it is with Mars and Aries. The physical features, the muscly, the fit, toned body. But Venus in Pisces probably would prefer someone who is probably a bit probably like a bit watery. Like, let's say for example, it was a man that's more curvature. In a woman, they would prefer more a curvy type of woman. If it was a woman, she would prefer a man who is probably more, doesn't, maybe not like completely like toned, muscly, like maybe it's just bulky, bulky but stocky, not it doesn't, the muscles are there, but maybe that doesn't matter. It's just the bulkiness that they like. But it's mainly with the character, with the Venus in Pisces and Mars in Aries. The character has to be outgoing, romantically outgoing. So they have to bring romance and excitement. It has to be the combination of that in order for them to feel satisfied with their partner and attracted to their partner, because this is what I'm talking about. All of this is all about attraction, and attraction is in the mind and on the physical level too. So yeah, Venus in Pisces, I think also, you know, the person, if they have like because obviously Mars in Aries can be quite harsh and can be quite direct, and Venus in Pisces is actually opposite to that in many ways. So this individual probably has like two types of way of handling things in some ways. So the person has to be able to actually handle that character when they're nice and when they're not nice, when they're bossy and when they're like very giving and kind. You know, it's like it's kind of what they have, two kind of sides to them. So yeah, that person must be able to deal with that too, and yeah, manage their emotions. So this is what Mars in Aries with all the Venus signs is attracted to. Hope you enjoyed.